So I'll tell you about a win one time. And this was when I lived up in Washington State. And we went to, I think it was like Centralia or Chehalis. And we were doing a duel. And nobody said anything to me about this kid that I was going to wrestle. No one said anything to me. And part of it is probably because they just knew that it might get in my head a little bit. Well, this kid was like ranked in the state, and I went out and I stuck this dude in the first period. And afterwards, then they told me, yeah, we didn't say anything because this guy was really good. But I think it would have played on me a little bit.
That is so wild how that can work, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but does that not speak to what Scripture is saying as like, had they told you that?
Yeah.
Your mind now will be focused on the entirely wrong thing.
Right,
You're not focusing on what you should be living up to.
Right.
But instead, you don't have that information. Yeah, I'm just going to focus on what I'm capable of.
Yeah. Well, I think Greg talked about it in his sermon this last weekend. He was talking about how, like, when we focus on all of the struggle, and there's a lot of it going on in our world, right? Like, we've talked about several things, whether it be censorship or COVID or whatever it is. We've talked about several of those things even tonight, or on this episode, rather. And those can be emotionally draining or mentally taxing because it's like, oh, gosh darn, what is going on in our world, And there's a lot to be anxious about and overwhelmed by if we're focusing on those things. And when we're focusing on those things, we're not focusing on the glory of God.
Right.
We're not focusing on the victory that Jesus Christ had on Calvary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I think Greg's ultimate point, too, was just that, any glory that's not his, I mean, you're trying to make it about yourself, too.
Ooh, yeah.
And so, like,
that's true.
Are you living in a way to bring glory to Christ? So,
getting you some pistachios. Huh?
I found some pistachios.
Why are we doing this?